Now, on Focus, it's internship time for college students. Before your search begins, here's some tips that can help you on your way to the perfect career. Now, your stories, your struggles, your successes. This is Focus on South Florida. Here now, Jawan Strader.
Good morning and welcome to the show. The school year is rapidly winding down, and that means college students will be on the hunt for internships. And that can be a challenge in today's economy. But there are ways students can find an internship that will be the first step to a dream career. Here's CBS 4's George Estevez.
Congratulations. Students picking up their cap and gown is a special moment, but it's the years leading up to this day that can make or break their future.
Topical Career Center, how can I help you?
Take Jesse at 20. He's already finished one internship and is looking for another.
I think I learned a lot more than if you don't have an internship at all.
His time at a Tampa sports arena will help with his career goals to run an entertainment complex one day.
That I got my foot in the door is huge. And I also met a lot of contacts, so I made contacts that can help me out down the road.
And for college students, getting an advantage is key. Just ask Christian Garcia, director of the Toppel Career Center at UM.
What we tell students is one internship is great, better than none. But if you really want to be competitive, do 2, 3. I've seen students have done 4 or 5 internships.
The opportunities just aren't there like they used to be.
Dr. Woody, author of the U Plan, talks about how parents can help with internships. For example, they could remind the kids it's not about Facebook, but about FaceTime.
Getting in front of actual physical people who have the job or internship that you might want.
Call in favors.
A lot of times, parents, your life is about calling in favors to help out your kids, so call in one more.
Think social recruiting.
And figure out who are those connections that you have may be able to link you to an internship.
Also, have your kids check websites like Career Amp, Tweet My Jobs, and internships.com. Any way you do it, getting your foot in the door before you even put on your cap and gown is key.
It shows them, like future employers, if you work during college, you're a really hard worker.
And yes, with more and more students graduating every year and putting on their cap and gown, the best piece of advice is simply to make sure you stand out against arrest. At the University of Miami campus in Coral Gables, George Estevez, CBS 4 News.
All right, joining me now is Dr. Mike Woodward, better known as Dr. Woody. He's a professional coach and consultant and president of Human Capital Integrated. He's author of the U Plan. Welcome to the show once again.
Always good to be here, Jawan.
All right, well, Dr. Woody, let's get right to it.
Right.
I know why, because internships really helped me to land this job and my dream job, basically. But why are internships so important for students out there?
Well, at the end of the day, you got to remember it's a foot in the door. And this economy is a tough economy. We see it, it's bouncing the jobless to the claims, up and down, back and forth. And so the reality is, if you want, especially for parents out there, if you want your kid to get that leg up in this economy before they actually graduate school and have to get out there, a great foot in the door is to get an internship, because more often than not, companies will actually hire their interns on full time when they're done. So it's a great way to get that started.
I know it happens all the time, and I know it helped me because I got my first job because of an internship in television. Okay, so the big question, what resources are out there to help these students find an internship?
Well, first of all, you got to think local, right? So go to your college career center. They always have opportunities. They're usually connected in the local community. Second of all, look at professional associations. There are plenty of different groups out there that specialize in the field you may be interested in, so find them, go to their meetings, and network with them. And then the third thing is internships.com. There are over 40,000 internships listed on internships.com right now. So the internships are still out there, even though the spring semester's closed out.
Right.
And we are now really in summer season, but the opportunities are still there, and you can find them.
I love that, internships.com. And I know not all internships are paid, though, and I think that's important that we get that across, because some people wonder, well, how much does an internship pay? They're not all paid out there. Some of them are, some of them aren't.
Right. And you don't want to get too hung up on getting paid, because here's the reality is, again, I go back to that foot in the door. It's an opportunity. And in life, sometimes you got to pay your dues. You paid your dues, right? And that's how you got your opportunities.
Exactly.
Same thing. And You know, when I had my first internship, I actually started with an unpaid internship, and then it turned into a paid internship.
Right.
So sometimes you could parlay it into a paid internship if you make the right impression.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's about getting that job at the end of the day, which you will get paid.
Right. You will get paid eventually.
Eventually.
You know? It may take a little time, but you got to pay your dues.
Very, very good point. How should students approach an interview for an internship? Should they approach it as if they're going to a job interview?
Absolutely. It's no different. And you know, the one thing, it's funny because you've had to deal with this as someone who interviews a lot of different people, especially politicians.
Right.
But I always tell people, know your talking points. There's no better way to prepare for an interview than to know at least the 3 things that you want to get across, because that's your opportunity to sell yourself to that employer.
Okay.
So no matter what kind of question they hit you with, you have to be able to go back and dig in your mind and know what type of things do I want to get across to them.
Okay.
Because what happens is there's no interviewer is the same, and no interview is the same. So you don't know what questions they're going to ask, and instead of trying to anticipate the questions, know the points you want to get across and find a way to get those across no matter what they ask you.
All right, and book FaceTime, not Facebook time. So,
Right.
so why is old-fashioned in-person networking so important when it comes to an internship?
And for any of the parents out there watching, you know, one thing that I will say is that the children of the boomer generation understood the value of personal relationships.
Right.
So that's why I always say help your kids understand it's not just about Facebooking.
Okay.
It's about booking that FaceTime and getting in front of the people who have the opportunities you want. So nudge your kids to go to professional association meetings, to get involved in community events, find a way to get in front of those people that may be able to get you that job, because most of the job market, and in this case the internship market, is really based on referrals. So you got to get that face time.
I did see one of the bullet points that we had on our screen right there, call in favors.
Yeah. And this is another one. Most of us have more relationships than we realize. And so for the parents out there, to help your kids, pull out that old Rolodex, fire up that cell phone contact list, check out your email contacts, figure out who do you know that may in some way be able to connect your kid to an opportunity that'll help them get on that right path to a job that they want.
They always say it's about who you know. They say that. They still say it today. They said it when I was in college, and it's so true.
It will always be the case. Always be the case. But remember, you probably know someone that can connect your kids out there, so you just got to think about it.
And then you had social recruiting. Explain that.
Social recruiting is this new phenomena where people are learning how to leverage the power of their social network to get out there and connect for career opportunities. So whether it's you're looking in the job market or whether you're a college kid trying to find an internship, you have to think about how do I leverage the power of my Facebook friends, of my LinkedIn friends, the people that are following me on Twitter. How do I harness that and do something with it? And you know, it's not just about posting updates on what happened yesterday or following a new trend. So, you know, millennials are no doubt masters of the social networking stratosphere, right? But we got to get them to understand, use it for good, for career purposes as well.
Right.
And there are great tools out there like Career Amp, for example, which is a Facebook tool that allows you to tap into your Facebook friends who may have career opportunities for you, because a lot of these kids have so many friends they don't even realize who's done what or who's connected to what. So a tool like a Career Amp can help you figure that out.
All right. And is there a website folks can go to if they want to learn more about these tips that you're giving?
Yeah, well, I would say go to internships.com.
Okay.
Because there are a wealth of resources.
Okay.
That tool I just mentioned, careeramp.com.
Okay.
And that just links you to that Facebook tool. It's a free service, so it's something I think is worth checking out.
All right. Dr. Woody, thank you for joining us this morning.
Absolutely.
A lot of helpful advice for all of our future professionals out there. All right, Dr. Woody, thank you very much.